No doubt about it, the coronavirus changed our work habits, and for those who migrated to a home office, very few have left and are still working from home. A Yahoo Finance Harris poll found 54% of respondents say they're currently working from home because of the pandemic. 40% full-time, 13% part-time. Only 32% of the workforce is at the office with no change in their routine. Only 4% of those who began working from home returned to their normal work sites. Workplace culture expert Joel Patterson joins me here on the morning show. So people are starting to wonder, with COVID numbers spiking and staying there, is our boss ever going to bring us back to the office?
Well, it's a great question, Bruce. It really remains to be seen what's going to happen ultimately. I don't think any of us have all the answers right now, but it's certainly on everyone's mind. And I think a lot of things are going to come into play there, primarily safety and health, right? But there's no doubt that the overall landscape has changed. The thing that I find interesting right now is people aren't really asking whether or not people want to stay working from home. You know, this experiment's happened a couple of times over the years. You know, back in the late 80s, Peter Drucker said the days of the office space were dead, and that didn't happen. And a few times, IBM recently, Yahoo has pulled people back from working from home. And I find that people really, in a lot of ways, want to be in the office, want to be around other people, want to experience the culture and the energy that comes from ideation and just being able to have water cooler talk, all those things. So there's no perfect response to that yet. We'll just have to kind of wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah, it kind of depends on your personality trait. If you're an extrovert, you want to be around people. If you're an introvert, well, maybe it's different.
Yeah, that's for sure. We use assessments here a lot for personality purposes and just to understand how people are feeling. And those extroverts, I mean, they're in the office now. We opened our office about a month ago to 25% capacity. And it's pretty interesting to see that all the people that rate out on those assessments as extroverts are here almost every day, while the introverts have really enjoyed being at home and being able to work on their own and get their tasks done. But it's also important not to forget that they still need that contact. You've still got to be active about reaching out to them and making sure that they feel engaged, they feel part of the crew. Otherwise, they're not going to get that sense of engagement that you need to be able to hold a culture together.
So for the people who aren't getting that engagement, how do they keep from losing their minds?
Well, there's a few things you can do. One, we've all had Zoom calls. I'm on one right now, right? And to make sure that you're taking full advantage of that FaceTime that you have with them. Zoom calls have tended to be very, we've got a purpose, let's get it done, and then we're off the phone. You don't have any of that rapport building. You don't have any of those things that happen during a normal face-to-face meeting. And it's important that you use that time to do things like have fun. I'll give you a quick example. We had an all-hands meeting the other day, and we've got this one guy in the office that just loves to wear tank tops, especially now that he's home all the time. He wears tank tops a lot, and we give him a hard time about it. But what we did this day is we had everybody in the company throw on a tank top, and we didn't let him know. And just by a silly thing, letting everyone feel like they're part of the group allows people to feel connected and part of that overall culture.
Yeah, let me ask you about protocol. Most companies have adapted to the fact that occasionally, one of the kids might go ahead and enter into the process, or a pup might bark. But I read an article where this one company actually fired a woman because her kid interrupted the call. How do you deal with that?
I saw that same article, and it really surprised me because I feel like that stuff is actually a good thing right now. It allows people to be more human and allows you to say, hey, they just have the same things going on at home that I do. If a kid walks through there, grab the kid and introduce them to people. That, again, allows you to see something different than what you're used to seeing at work and brings that sense of culture to the overall team that's on the call and allows them to see kind of, a different perspective of them. We have this one guy who he's a developer, so he's kind of an introvert as well. And one day a bunny rabbit hopped by in the middle of a call. And who would have thought that guy had a bunny rabbit as a pet? I mean, who has a bunny rabbit as a pet anyway these days? But he saw something in him that you would never have expected before and allows you to connect and see him as a real person.
Yeah. And if we do find that the landscape has changed forever and the boss says, you know what, you're going to be working from home, I guess the most important thing is finding that work-life balance.
Yeah, because there's really, that's kind of out the window at this point. What I hear a lot of people talking about is, I'm sitting on my sofa and I'm doing work all day. And then in the evening, when I'm watching a movie with my family, I'm sitting in that exact same spot. That separation isn't there. I think that's one of the things that not having a commute has hurt. It allows you to kind of flip that switch, and people are going to have to find ways to separate themselves into another area of the house, or maybe a co-working space. Even going to the coffee shop once we're allowed to will allow them to create a little bit more of that balance, because being in the same spot all day, 24 hours a day, is not going to be good for your long-term health.
Certainly some good advice there. Joel, thanks very much. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.